Think about your phone for a second. You use it for literally everything, right? Ordering food, chatting with friends, maybe even running a whole side business. We're all pretty comfortable with tech. But what if I told you the real magic, the real power isn't in the gadget you're holding? It's in the invisible systems humming away in the background. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and see how businesses really use this stuff to get ahead. So let's dive in.
Yeah, you're probably what they call a digital native. You grew up with all this tech, so navigating apps and websites is basically second nature to you. You're a pro. And from a user's point of view, you are an expert. But that's really only half the story.
See, here's the twist. We're not here to drool over the latest smartphone. We're going to flip the script entirely. We're going to stop thinking like a consumer and start thinking like a creator, like a business leader. Because it's not really about the shiny device in your hand. It's about the strategy. It's about how people and processes use that tech to create something valuable and ultimately to win.
Okay, so let's get on the same page with the key definition here. When we say information system, or IS for short, we're not just talking about a computer or an app. No, it's so much bigger than that. Think of it like a whole ecosystem, a combination of 5 different parts all working together perfectly in sync to get something done. And that actually brings us to our first big idea. You see, every single information system, I don't care if it's the app you use to order a pizza or the massive network that runs a global shipping company, they're all built from the same 5 basic ingredients. And to help us understand this, we're going to use a super useful tool called the 5-component model. Seriously, think of it like a universal blueprint. It works for any information system. And it doesn't just show us the parts. More importantly, it shows us how they all fit together and depend on one another. And right away, this model shows us something really important. It basically splits the system right down the middle. On one side, you've got the tech stuff, the hardware and the software. And on the other side, you've got the human stuff, the people and the processes. And what's that crucial bridge right in the middle, connecting the two? It's the data. Data is the link between the machine and the mission. So let's do a quick rundown. Hardware, that's the physical stuff you can actually touch. Your laptop, a server, that little credit card scanner. Software is all the programs and instructions, the apps, the operating system. Data, that's the raw info, the heart of the whole thing. And then we get to the human side. Processes are just the steps people follow to do their jobs, and people, well, they're the ones who make it all run. Okay, and this model reveals something absolutely critical, a fundamental truth. As you move from the left side of this model to the right, from hardware over to people, making changes gets way harder. Think about it. You can swap out a server overnight, right? You can push a software update in a matter of minutes. But changing how people work, changing their habits? Whoa, that is the real challenge. Technology is easy. People are hard.
All right, so now we know how to take apart a single system. But how do you make this work on a bigger scale? I mean, how do great leaders actually integrate these complex systems into the DNA of an entire organization?
Well, for that, we're going to look at another powerful framework called Leavitt's Diamond. This is the playbook that smart leaders use whenever they're bringing in new technology to make sure it actually helps instead of just causing a ton of headaches and chaos for everyone.
Now, this model points out a super common mistake. So many leaders get obsessed with just the technology, and they forget everything else. And that's a recipe for disaster. Real success is a balancing act. You have to consider all 4 points of this diamond: the tech, the people, the processes, and the company's structure. If you change one part without thinking about the others, the whole thing just gets wobbly and falls apart.
And these 4 points are pretty straightforward, but you have to check every box. Do your people actually have the skills they need? Are they motivated to use this new thing? Is the tech itself solid? Are your workflows clear? And does the company's org chart and all the job roles actually support this change? You got to think about all of it, because if you ignore even one, the whole initiative can fail.
Okay, so we've got the theory down. We've seen the blueprints, but how does all this stuff actually play out in the real world? Let's get to the good stuff. How companies use these very systems to completely dominate their competition.
You know, when you boil it all down, there are really 3 main ways a business can win. 1, be cheaper than everyone else. That's cost leadership. 2, be better or just totally different. That's differentiation. Or 3, find one small group of customers and serve them better than anyone else. That's focus. And guess what? Information systems are basically the rocket fuel for all 3 of these strategies.
Okay, I'm going to throw a number at you, and I just want you to hang on to it for a second. 3 weeks. Just 3 weeks. What in the world could that mean in the business world?
That is how long it takes the fashion giant Zara to go from a sketch in a designer's notebook to a shirt hanging on a rack in one of their stores. 3 weeks. Do you know what the industry average is? 6 months. I mean, how is that even possible?
The secret? It's their absolutely brilliant and incredibly fast information system. Every single cash register, every handheld device their employees carry, it's not just for transactions, it's a data-gathering weapon. They're tracking not just what you buy, but what you try on and don't buy, what you ask for, what's hot in that specific store right this minute. All that data flies back to their designers in real time. It's like giving their design team a superpower, the ability to see into the future.
Or, hey, how about Amazon? They started out just selling books online, right? To do that, they had to build these insane internal information systems to handle all the logistics. But then they had this stroke of genius. They realized the system they built for themselves was so good, so powerful, that other companies would pay to use it. And just like that, Amazon Web Services, or AWS, was born. Today, it's the biggest cloud computing company on the planet. Their internal IS literally became their most profitable product. Wild.
Okay, so this is all really cool, but why should you care? Why does this matter for your career? Because understanding this stuff isn't just for the tech nerds or the chief information officers. Nope, this is a crucial skill for anyone, and I mean anyone who wants to be a leader.
I don't care if you're in marketing, finance, sales, whatever. In any meeting, in any company, the person who can look at a business problem and say, hey, I see how a system could fix this. That's the person who stands out. That's the person who gets promoted. This knowledge isn't just about tech, it's about strategy. It's the difference between just doing your job and leading the way.
And believe me, the world is hungry for people who get this. The demand is just exploding. I mean, just take a look at this chart showing the number of computer and information science degrees. It's a rocket ship. The market is practically screaming for people who can speak both languages, business and technology.
And this skill set opens the door to some of the coolest, most important jobs out there right now. We're talking about everything from a high-level CIO setting the whole company's tech strategy, to a data scientist finding hidden patterns, to a business analyst designing better processes. These aren't just jobs, these are the roles that are actively building the future of business.
So I'm going to leave you with a little challenge. The next time you open up any app on your phone, anything at all, I want you to try and look past the shiny buttons on the screen. Try to see the whole system behind it. Can you picture the hardware, the software, the data flowing, the processes, the people making it all work? Can you see how it all connects? Because once you learn to see the system, you start to see the future. And that is where the real power is.